terrifying massive wall of water smashed over this Indonesian island city. Waves some 10 feet tall, residents crying out, running for their lives. The tsunami surging ashore just after officials had lifted a warning, apparently not expecting such danger. First came the massive 7.5 magnitude quake, striking in the early evening on the island of Sulawesi, the epicenter near a city of some 300,000 residents. These pictures posted by a government official show a bridge before and after. Hospitals moved outside to more safely care for the injured. Buildings collapsed or swept away. Reports of entire families missing. The region is part of the so-called Ring of Fire around the Pacific Ocean. Most of the world's earthquakes happen there. Now, emergency crews stepping up search and rescue at first light in wake of multiple disasters.
Breaking overnight, the death toll is rising in Indonesia, where at least 384 people were killed by a strong 7.5 earthquake that then triggered a tsunami. Hundreds of people are still unaccounted for on the island of Sulawesi in the city of Palu. The tsunami's waves of almost 18 feet struck a beach Friday. Thousands of homes are damaged or destroyed, and roads are cut off and communications are difficult.
Devastation in Indonesia. At least 384 people are now dead and hundreds of others are hurt after a powerful earthquake and tsunami swept through the island of Sulawesi. A 7.5 magnitude earthquake triggered the 10-foot wall of water yesterday that washed away buildings and cars. Officials say many people there are still missing, and there are fears that the death toll could rise.
A tsunami in Indonesia washed away homes today and left an unknown number of people missing. An earthquake sent a wave of up to 10 feet high crashing into the coast of Sulawesi, striking the coast of Palu and a smaller town.
The sun is setting on a seaside town on the island of Sulawesi, but the ocean is about to shatter the evening's calm. A wave starts to roll across the sand. In the places where people have sought refuge, there's panic. The water crashes through the beachside cafes and onto the streets, into the grounds of a mosque where the earlier earthquake has already caused the roof to collapse. After nightfall, on the other side of the island, people who were injured in the quake made it to hospital. But the fear of aftershocks and another building collapse meant that they were treated outside. The safest place to sleep was out in the open. Indonesian officials say that power cuts have made it difficult to assess the scale of the damage, but that houses were swept away by the tidal wave, and that families have been reported missing along the many fault lines which stretch across this part of the earth. Counting the cost of the latest quake, we'll have to wait till daylight returns.
It has happened again in Indonesia. A deadly tsunami yesterday struck the country's central island after a powerful earthquake. The death toll is now at 384. Is the death toll expected to rise there?
It's almost certain to, Dara. It's at 384 now, and it's about 24 hours since this devastation happened. And it was a day where there were actually as many as 10 foreshocks and aftershocks surrounding the 7.5 magnitude earthquake. And then the tsunami hit. And it hit at a time when there were reports of hundreds of people attending a beach party in that area. This is also happening around two fairly significantly sized cities of close to 400,000 people each, and the death toll report is only from one of those communities. The rescuers are still having difficulty getting to the other big cities, so that's why it's almost certainly expected to go up. And you're right, this happened in an area of the world called the Ring of Fire. Indonesia is very prone to earthquakes. There was one last month in August that killed 500 people. So again, as they continue to try and get through the debris and get to the missing, the death toll expected to rise, and it's a very difficult place to perform a rescue operation. And again, it's becoming night there again, which complicates things even further.
Magnitude 7.5 earthquake triggered a tsunami in Indonesia, killing at least 384 people. Many tried scrambling for safety as deadly waves crashed into the hard-hit city of Palu. Hundreds there are injured and thousands of homes damaged or destroyed. Disaster relief teams are combing through debris from collapsed buildings and pooled seawater. Officials say tens to hundreds of people who were in Palu for a beach festival are missing.
This devastating tsunami hit at sunset, as you mentioned, with the city of Palu directly in its path. Large crowds were actually gathered on the beach for a festival when those waves, reported again up to 18 feet high, pummeled the coast, sweeping many to their death. Cell phone video captured the terrifying moment. One of those waves washed in, swallowing seaside homes. You see it there. People could be seen running in fear. For many, though, especially those on the ground, not fast enough. The massive waves quickly flooded streets with a force that destroyed anything in its path. The waves were triggered by a 7.5 earthquake, which alone caused massive destruction. Indonesian television reported an entire shopping mall was destroyed, along with a bridge and even an 80-room hotel. Ultimately, though, it was the tsunami, those waves, that caused the brunt of the damage. Witnesses say it took more than 4 hours for the water to subside. First responders reported finding bodies pinned under the rubble of collapsed buildings and trapped in vehicles that were swallowed by the waves. The death toll, it is expected to rise. Emergency response has been impossible for some areas where roads have been destroyed and telecommunications knocked out. As those rescue operations continue strong, aftershocks have been reported. And Anthony, that's raising concern for more life-threatening damage.
There is almost nothing coming out of Palu, Indonesia tonight. There are videos being shared on social media and reports of numerous fires. But for the most part, electricity and communications have been cut off. If the sun comes up and communications are restored, the death toll will rise. Getting help in will take time. The airport's been closed and roads washed out. One of Palu's landmarks is this bridge. It is no longer where it's supposed to be.
Waves up to 3 meters high surges through the city of Palu on Sulawesi Island on Friday. The tsunami triggered by a magnitude 7.5 earthquake. Videos on social media show the panic as people try to flee. The dome of this mosque collapsed after the quake, was then washed away in torrents of water. Palu, popular with tourists, is home to more than 300,000 people. The nearby city of Donggala and the town of Mamuju have also been severely affected, but no one has been able to reach them yet. Rescue operations are underway, but communications have been down, and the only runway in Palu is badly damaged. Cargo planes carrying doctors and aid, as well as the army, are being sent to join the rescue efforts. Residents are urged to stay outdoors, with more aftershocks expected. Indonesia is prone to earthquakes as it lies on the Ring of Fire. the line of frequent quakes and volcanic eruptions that circles virtually the entire Pacific Rim. Last month, a series of quakes killed more than 500 people on the tourist island of Lombok.